Yo, yo. All right. Hey, Sense. Hey, Tim Gal. Welcome in. All right, pretty good window. Any best first category to speedrun? I mean, if you are talking about trying to speedrun Sekiro, then Shura glitchless, which is essentially any percent glitchless, is a good one to start with because it's pretty short and it doesn't require you to learn a bunch of stuff immediately. You can kind of ease your way into it. So you can start up with learning a few things, then go for some PBs and then learn some more as you go. So that's a pretty beginner friendly one for Sekiro at least. Shura glitchless. There is also a nice tutorial that Mitch Riz made. For that covers everything. Oh well, not everything, but it covers at least the basic way of dealing with everything. A tutorial that would cover everything in the game would be way too long, obviously. So it only covers what you need to know. And then there are a few other smaller tutorials for individual things. And all of these tutorials you will be able to find if you go to speedrun.com/Sekiro, and then there's a guide section. Right. Second or third try there, I'm not sure, but pretty decent. You saw that? Okay, cool. Yeah. Under that guide section, there is a list of speedrunning tutorials, the guide is called, and it's literally just a list of of like video tutorials. Kind of like a big, yeah, a big list. Really? Ah, okay. if you do sub 1 hour on your first try, yeah, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on how you feel about it. Like, obviously you have to start somewhere. So, if you feel that your like current skill level in Sekiro is pretty like decent, then it's probably a fine time to start out with. And then obviously the more you work on it, both the better you'll play, but also you'll get a feeling for what time you might be more satisfied with, right? So yeah, sub hour is like the first goal, right, to hit. I view it as like a personal journey in a sense, at least when you're starting out. Any improvement is good, and the small victories should be celebrated. Be happy with any PP you can get. You've ended the game on Shameless and you've gotten every achievement. Yeah, then it seems like you'll have a good starting point. I was in a similar situation. I got all the achievements and did a little bit of Shameless stuff, and then I got into speedrunning. Probably had around like 200 hours or so when I got into speedrunning on the game. You're also trying to do base vitality new game, but Demon of Hatred is too much for you. Ah, yeah, that is understandable. Demon of Hatred is quite hard with base vitality, especially because some of his moves, or at least one of the combos that he does, like it deals damage to you even if you deflect it. Does like chip damage, kind of like Bull. So you gotta like think like totally different on some of that. I'm sure you would get it though if you put more time into it. But sometimes it can also help like watching someone else do it, so I don't know if you have looked at looked at, for example, a kill of him with base attack power or something like that, where they call it sword only, you know, sword only base attack power or sword only AP1. You can usually learn a lot from watching those, because in sword only you can't use any skills or anything, so they have to be able to deal with every single attack on like a basic with the basic like mechanics of the game, like deflect and movement. And so yeah, you can usually learn a lot from watching that. I like doing that when I need to fight a boss that I haven't fought so much before. I did it a bit when I first learned all bosses and mini bosses. I looked up some of the kills for some of the mini bosses that I hadn't really fought so much. Oh, those are challenges from the Sekiro Discord. Ah, yeah. I see. Yeah, they made like a whole like system for like challenges and getting like roles or titles from completing them. I haven't looked too much at that other than like Maxmin, I think their name was, asked about like what times might be suitable for some of them. Also unfortunate that I missed this. Probably gonna end in a reset here, but we can continue it a bit more to see if we can perhaps salvage it a bit. Oh, are we getting YOLO here? No, okay. So we'll take the regular path. It's gonna fall slowly. Maxmin is co-owner? Right. I just wasn't sure I was getting that name right. But yeah, they had like a speedrun race recently. It was pretty cool. I wasn't there for it, unfortunately, but I still try to support those types of events if I can, because I think it's really cool. You get some rolls, some of the speedrun rolls. Sub 45 for glitchless Shura and sub 35 for restricted Shura. Yeah. Yeah. And there's also for the Immortal Severance, and I don't know if they updated it to be all bosses or if it's still all beats and memories. All beats and memories in terms of speedrunning is not that popular anymore. Because a bit after, like when the game initially came out, it was pretty popular. And then after a bit, some people went together and said, nah, actually, we're gonna do all bosses and mini bosses instead of all beats and memories, because all beats and memories doesn't include all of the mini bosses. And it also includes picking up a bunch of money and such. So I don't know what the state of the current thing on the Sekiro Discord is. Because I think Maxim was talking about adding a role or something for all bosses. Like a master role, something like that. Speed master. I can't remember what it was supposed to be called. Okay. I've become a little more motivated to try some of the mods. for the game from reading people's experiences on the Discord. I've only tried the randomizer, but I see there's a bunch of people on there who are like discussing the the various strats on like some of the insane modded bosses. Looks pretty cool. Do you mean this run? This run can maybe world record. It's a little unlikely with the mistake earlier, but I mean, could technically still be a thing. Oops, I did this kind of weird. Right. Pretty good, I guess. 156 on the door. Oh, sorry, 1056. Not bad. I guess like in a perfect world I would want like a 1030 something, but we don't live in that perfect world. You moved to Twitch? Hell yeah. Welcome to Twitch. I mean, you're welcome either way, whichever you prefer to be on. I think maybe you typed in my chat last time I streamed and I didn't. Man. Keeping track of two chats is kind of hard, so sorry about that if you did. Now that I'm thinking about it. God damn it, he sees me. All right. Time to fly. Ah, okay. Quit-out is not banned? Well, this is not glitchless, so... If you are playing glitchless, you can't quit out. But if you are playing anything else, then you can. In terms of speedrunning. I guess there I waited too long and so my death came too early and I got too much speed. Yeah, we're doing like a big launch here to get sent like way under the map. But I missed the spot that you gotta fly to. $60 FPS cap? Yeah, I play with my game is completely default apart from the timer plugin, like the live split. The live split adds in like a thing so that it skips the tutorial pop-ups, so you aren't constantly reminded of how to play the game. Looks smooth? Yeah, this game looks pretty nice just at 60. But it also looks very nice at like 120. But it's pretty hard to run it at that FPS. Play with the FPS unlocker. I see, yeah. It's pretty cool. Hey Michin, thank you for the good luck. I'm gonna need it. Oh well. I don't need luck, I just need to play well. Oh, that was a weird one. Okay, this is probably a reset. Minus 1.7 mean I save time? Yeah. It means that the time is 1.7 seconds lower than my personal best. And lower is better. Yeah, plus 40 is not the best. Okay. Gonna be plus 50 now. Yeah, can't get a world record here, but can still get some practice slash warm up. I'll just see what happens. Maybe I can get to the mid slash late game. Get some practice. The early game is essentially like just kinda like you just kinda need to autopilot through it. Because it's way easier than the late game. But it's still kinda hard. Alright, you can't get YOLO and it's like second try like that. Don't even know if he's gonna fall. He probably will though. Like, he usually does. Alright. See you later. Like he's not gonna fall. So I'll start over. Oh, whoops. God damn. And I was ever so slightly to the left there. I didn't go like in a straight path over the jump. Oh, I messed up there. I turned too early. Alright. Yeah, okay. I messed up the jump there. I jumped like from a bad starting spot. Okay. Okay. Oh. Wanted to land in the hole. God damn it. Oh. Annoying. Bruh, what the shit. And it really feels like this whole thing with old patch is true, that you can't turn as dramatically as I'm trying to, which you can on current patch, because you generally like don't fly off like that ever on current patch. Yo, Ali. Do I play on old patch for? The early monkeys glitch, the one where you fly through the air and land inside of the monkeys arena. It was patched on 103. So we're playing on the oldest version of the game possible on PC. Known back then? Yeah. It was found very early. Yo, Dan, thank you for the good luck and for the raid. I appreciate it. Yeah, they found a lot of stuff back then, and like the first couple of weeks of the game, they found more than, or they found as much as we have done in the last like year, like 40 years or something. They were very productive back then. At least in terms of glitches. Yeah, welcome in, guys. We're doing a little bit of Shura no Airswim here. Trying to get the record back. I had it for like 1 or 2 days. Back in October. And we were racing against each other, me, Mitriz, and Worm. But they've abandoned me now, so now it's my shot to to do something here. It's my chance. All bosses, mini bosses is done on current patch. Okay, so let me explain how this game works. 102 is the oldest patch. On 103 they did a mega patch. And in that mega patch they buffed Mortal Draw to an extent where it's now the best thing in the entire game. On old patches it's bad. It's barely worth using. In any situation whatsoever. So any category that wants to fight bosses will play on anything after 103, which is generally either 104 or 106. 106 being the current patch. 104 is just like, it's basically current patch. It has like a few fewer pop-ups, but it's essentially current patch. But the big thing is old patch has bad MD and has like, you know, the early monkeys glitch, and then current patch has strong MD. So if you want to fight bosses, you go on current patch. That's pretty much the only difference. That's... Oh. That's worth knowing. I pressed the wrong button. Do I use MD in this run? No, I don't equip it. It's too useless. It actually hinders you in this. You go badge? Alright, Dan. Good night, man. And hey, Icarus, thank you for the good luck. Mortal Draw is very good on current patch, but on the old patch here, it's like if you... Sometimes you can be in a situation where it's worth using because it still does possess the ability to cancel most moves and also deal good poise damage against the enemies where that matters on, which is none in this run. But if you were to do a glitchless run on old patch, you would probably use Mortal Draw in some of the same places, like on Guardian Ape, where it matters a lot. It's essentially only the beast enemies that have poise. All the other ones are programmed in a way where they just get staggered every time you hit them one time, kind of like PvP, Dark Souls style. So the staggering effect isn't that useful on those. It's pretty much for the damage, generally, outside of Guardian Ape, that you use Mortal Draw for. So, yeah, like we don't need the utility in this, and we don't need the damage because there is no damage, so it's just, yeah, not even worth equipping. Because it takes time to equip. And then it also prevents you from resetting your attack animation by doing a block in the air, which is needed for a strat on 2 bosses, or well, it only will yeah, like there are 2 bosses where I use a strat where I'm blocking and then I'm turning and then I'm hitting, and if you aren't able to block and then hit, which you aren't when you have a combat art equipped, because those are the keys to activate the combat art. Essentially, if you have a combat art equipped, you can't do those strats, and they save a lot of time. I think some of the other guys, when they ran this, they did use Mortal Draw, but they don't do those strats that I do. So, oh my god, damn. So, it makes sense that if you aren't doing those, then you might as well equip Mortal Draw, because you can easily be in a situation where you would want the Mortal Draw to cancel one of Ishin's scary moves. Over on the wall, yeah. It's kind of difficult because you need to start turning before you know you've hit the skip. And the jump is like frame perfect. 1 or 2 frames to hit it. And it doesn't help that the movement on this patch is kind of broken when you turn. Like if you, it's kind of like Dark Souls 2, where if you turn too suddenly, then your guy will kind of like pivot instead of smoothly turn, and that kind of fucks with your sprint. Visual cue or just feeling? I'm not so sure. I just kind of do it by feel. I'm not so good at it though. But I think most other people also do it by feel, but obviously there is like a certain element of looking at the game in that. The late jumps are kind of weird like that, because you do have like a specific, you know, spot on the ground that you look for. But at the same time, it is kind of feeling based. Oh damn, this is... Okay, he didn't fall. Damn. Alright. Hey Verazi, thank you for the good luck. Feathering the inputs help. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that, because on current patch you don't have to do it at all. You can just change direction, like, without thinking about it for that corner. Or like right now I'm talking about, you know, right before you do the jump. That's the thing that's messing me up with this patch. Because I have to do it differently than I'm used to. But like also I'm just like not warm on the timing. I don't play that much. Play as much as I should to be consistent with it. You're so good, man. Thank you. Oi, I'm doing some zigzagging there. Yeah, I guess it worked. Not even bad. Brief moment where you hold W and D at the same time, for example, instead of letting go of W and when you press D, yeah. Gotta have one held for a little bit longer when switching to another. That's kind of like a Dark Souls 2 fundamental. And it is also a little bit true for this game, but I think the amount that you need to do it is way less in this game, so it's just not something you... At least it's not something that I thought much about. Only use a controller, yeah. Yeah, if you use a controller, this thing in Sekiro on this patch doesn't happen to you. The particular thing that I'm talking about here on, obviously if you try and like turn too aggressively on a controller, you'll get the same thing as you will with keyboard and mouse. But this particular thing with like, it's kind of weird. Okay, I don't even really understand how or why it's a thing, because I don't get why they would change like how the character runs after like publishing the game. This really makes sense to me. When there are so many other things that they didn't change. They just feel like, yeah, I think the turning is kind of weird. Let's change it. Dark Souls 2, if you let go of W and then press D, your guy just pivots behind him. Yeah. He does this really dumb turning animation. I don't even know if you can call it a turning animation. He'll like kind of like just snap his view and then he'll like kind of hockey stop, as we like to call it in Sekiro, where he like essentially just stops in his tracks and then gets kind of like inertia. Is that what it's called? Like he gets the you know, where it's like he stops and then he has to like stop himself. Oh, what? Doesn't take too long to get used to, yeah. I guess the thing with this is it's like it's a setup for a skip that I've done in a certain way for like I don't even know how many years at this point. And so when I play on old patch, it's weird having to change it up. And like there is an alternative setup that is pretty popular that has this fixed, and it's essentially just you hold the W and then you aim the camera instead of pressing the movement keys, and then you just make sure to not snap your camera, and that's pretty easy because you wouldn't want to do that anyway. It's essentially like what I'm doing right now, you know, just holding down W and moving the camera where I want to go. I guess the thing, like the reason why like I don't default to that setup is that you can't as easily see when you're gonna drop off as you can with the setup where you approach with this camera angle, kind of like how I have it right now. Like when you get the side view kind of you jumping off, you can more easily tell when you're gonna slide off. Whereas if your camera is right behind your guy, then you can't really tell where the edge is as easily. But in my opinion, the timing for the jump becomes like way weirder. And then it becomes kind of this, okay, I first sprint into the position and then I sprint against the wall with this specific angle for this amount of time. And then I should roughly be where I want to be to then kind of feel my way around with when to jump. Of KBM inputs, some runners have told you it's quite hard to do 180 on keyboard apparently. Okay, I can explain this because although I didn't find 180s, I guess I am the person who brought them from the Chinese community over to the English speaking community. So the guy who found them is Seving. He plays on keyboard and mouse and he never really used them in runs. Until one day he did, and he got a new world record with it. And then after a bit, obviously a lot of people started playing around with them, and the people who had the best success were playing on controller. I had been practicing them for quite a while with keyboard and mouse. At that point, when other runners started doing them, and like some of the top runners, or you know, very fast runners started using them, and then I decided, okay, let me try them on controller, and they were way easier on controller. And the reason is that when you are doing the flick of your character on keyboard and mouse, you need to time 2 inputs because you need to let go of back before you can go forward again. So like here, you see I'm pressing SW, SW, AW. Is that A? I think it's A, right? To the left, I can't check right now. And on controller, you only are working with the stick. So you have one less input to think about. And that matters because your turn timing, essentially the worse your turn timing is, the more backwards you walk. Because as you're attacking and turning, part of the part of the attack animation will be spent while you are turned away from the enemy. And while you are attacking, Wolf is advancing in the direction you're facing. So if you're sloppy with your turn timing, Wolf will lose distance on the enemy and you'll die in many cases. And this is the hardest aspect of it, getting that really good timing. Getting the perfect timing is obviously frame perfect. And for keyboard and mouse players, I'm pretty sure we need to do a 2-frame timing. Like we have a 2-frame window to do it. Whereas on controller, you can just do whatever. Now, that changes when we're talking about the block hit 180s, because the turn thing is not a thing there. Because you always get the same distance, because you attack after having turned, because the game is weird. So when we're talking block hit 180s, which is the thing that's currently in talk right now, like as being the next thing for runners or top runners to start implementing, that is, in my opinion, easier on keyboard and mouse because we can aim, whereas controller players can't really aim. There is a different issue with like regular 180s, which is that if you use auto target, you do not need to aim where you're going with your stick flick on the controller. But having that enabled locks you out of other strats. On keyboard and mouse, we don't have to we don't need the auto target on for it because we can aim, which you can't really on controller. So the default like keyboard and mouse settings of auto target on, oh my god, auto target on controller is like pretty easy to do 180 dead angles on. But you're limited in what you can do. So there's a higher skill cap to doing them with keyboard and mouse, which is kind of opposite of what it really should be, because with a stick you have more nuance to your movement, but in reality you can't really harness that. Like nuance to the angle that you're going. But at the end of the day, like, using both input methods is the best. And if you can use or I should say on Emma, for example, which is like the main one that people have always been concerned with when it came to regular 180s. It's just better to use controller because your aim does not matter. You just have to hit her. And eventually she'll be backed up against the wall. And then it doesn't really matter. But it's just way more consistent to hit the max forward distance turns with the controller. So if you can do that strat with controller, it's just better to switch to controller there. But personally, I think that I like using keyboard and mouse for that because oh well, I'm just trying to say why I don't do it, because if it's such a good idea, then why don't you do it? Like, I've spent a lot of time practicing with keyboard and mouse, so at this point it doesn't really make sense to use controller for me. At least on that. KBM runners have managed to get good at it by now. I don't know. Like, you can look at... Like, generally KBM runners are not that good at 180s compared to controller players. Like, probably Ramonchi is the best at 180s, and Yuruka. Ramonchi and Yuruka, and they play on controller, both of them. I would also add myself, but I'm not like I'm kind of like washed when it comes to results. Wormdog is good at them? Yeah. He's good. He's not... Like, he can do better. Like, he can't at all do the block hit 180s though. That's kind of like... He's good at the normal ones, but with the block hit 180s, he can't do them at all. So it's like... Yeah. Not seen that before. That looked hilarious. Yeah, I fucked up the timing. But essentially we are trying to launch below the map because the Monkeys Arena is directly under the Senpo map. So we're trying to land down there. So that we can get the Mortal Blade for activating the ending. Alright, okay, let's try again. But, I mean, this is like kind of a very, how should I put it? It's like essentially what I'm giving you now is like a close analysis of something that can change in the span of a couple weeks. So, in February or in March, what I just said is useless information. Like, currently, as of today, Wormdog is not good at block hit 180s, and same goes for all of the other keyboard and mouse players. Except for C4. C4 is decent at them. And some of the no-hit guys that do like insane challenge kills, they're also good at them. But that technique in general is not very used because what happened, or what generally is the case with something that's new, is that everyone waits for someone to show it off because it could have been a waste of time if it ends up not being realistically viable, right? So at this point, it's been it's been pretty much proven that by using block hit 180s for Ishin's first phase, you can reliably save 3 seconds or more. Depending on that would be for any percent. In like in this category it's way more. But at the same time, no one really seems up for it because no one has really set a world record with it yet. So it's kind of in that state where it's not really being thought about. Like Passiflora, who's going for the 80% world record, wasn't even aware that it was like a lot faster. So it's I'm kind of giving you like a very inside look on like what the speedrunning scene is looking like as of today. I'm sure that next time Worm comes back to play this to beat me, he'll include all of that and be really good at it. It's just that right now the time investment hasn't been worth it for people yet, because especially on keyboard and mouse, none of this comes free. All of this takes so long. Just looking at the leaderboards for this category. Interesting that Sutemo hasn't done this version of the route. He doesn't really play this. He has one run on there that he got from like a couple days of playing. He might be the person on the entire No Airswim leaderboard who played the least. Yeah, I think unless someone literally did like one run and just submitted it, I think he's literally the person on there who played it the least. So he only did a run when the old new route was discovered. The Woo Skip route, I guess, is what it's called. That was pretty hype because it was like one of the biggest discoveries in a while. Troll Occultist? I don't know. I think Sutemo just runs the things that he wants to run. Like, he doesn't run... he never ever touched... oh well, I think he actually has a run on Immortal Severance No Airswim, but that's like a thing that he didn't touch, even though that it was a world record he could have gotten for free for like many years. He didn't touch that. And Mortal Journey was also something he was never interested in. And this route is not something to come back for. This shit is terrible to play. Yeah, let's wait for the pop-up. I can talk doing skips. In reality, I can't. Like, I'm not... Like, if I didn't talk, I would be doing better. But, then it gets boring too quick. He's insanely good at the game. Yeah, Sutemo's really good. A good amount of us consider him the GOAT because of his longevity. In that, the average, or not even the average, but most top players take more breaks a week than he has done in his entire life from speedrunning this game. Think about that statement for a second. Most top runners take more breaks every week than he has done in his entire career collectively. So if I run for like 4 days on a week, that would mean that on that week I have taken about as many days off that he has done in his entire career since the game came out, pretty much. I bet you could check with one of those. Oh, why am I picking that up? I don't need that. Okay, see, this is why you shouldn't talk. I literally don't need that money bag. Yeah, but with Twitch Tracker, you can probably check how many days he's had off. Even when Elden Ring came out, he kind of did both. And he did have some time where he also played Dark Souls 3, and I think even then he played both. Like on each session he would start with Sekiro or something and then do Dark Souls 3. You'd also call him the GOAT, hell yeah. Yeah, unfortunately Wormdog exists, and Satemo has been kind of having it rough. It's kind of hard to currently call him the GOAT, but I want him to be the GOAT so bad because he deserves it more than anyone else. Oh. Deserves that title. Oh my god. Fuck me. Communicate much? No. He usually just comes up with like a new route or something and then just does it on stream, and then everyone watches and are like, oh, what? You found a new route. That happens a lot. He's able to seamlessly switch between categories. Yeah, he's pretty good at that. He's also good at finishing runs, although he does reset like pretty often on some of the things that he does, but he could finish every single run that he starts if he wanted to. What? Why is that dog there? That makes no sense. Also, almost died. Holy shit. Nice. Insane. Not much communication between JB and Western runners. Yeah, there's also a bit of a gap between Chinese runners and the English-speaking community. I feel like that's been more prevalent in our community because the Japanese have been quite ahead. Oh, sorry, the Chinese have been quite ahead, and like Sutemo has kind of been his own kind of entity. It's not like that they had this like big Japanese community like you may see on like Super Mario 64 or something like that, for example, like back in the day. Language barrier? Well, in the case of China, it's because of something else. Okay, this is quite a bad time to do the menuing, but okay, whatever. Literally a dead run anyway. Was it for Japan? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Rakio was the same with not being on the Discord server, and we mainly communicated communicated with him on his live stream. But there are a few Japanese runners that have always been on the Discord. Misuki Aihara, for example, who is like one of the only, he's essentially the only person who has like ran all achievements, like actually grinded it. He's kind of like Master, where that was like his main run was all achievements. And he was on the Discord server. And then there are also some other guys, like the guy who found prosthetic swap, or at least the guy who made the first explanation of it. I want to say his name is Prio, but I don't remember how that whole thing works. I think there's like two people who are like not the same person, but you know, I don't know. There's one person with a bird profile picture and one person with a cat profile picture and something. It's sometimes hard to keep track of people who change their names and never type anything. I think it's kind of, how would you keep track of them if they don't exist? But yeah, it's mainly been runners from Asia that have been outside of the Discord. This is so funny, I'm literally sliding off every time. Yeah. Alright, we try again. And I guess I'll just default to the camera setup. The feathering doesn't even really work once you're up against the wall, I think, because it's like you're not moving and then you're suddenly moving and then it's like does the thing and you're just like boom, thrown off the edge. Okay. Ah. Lol, I still save time even though that was kind of one of the weaker tutorials I've had. Chinese guy got D3AB record. Yeah, Kuroko or something like that. Yeah. It's kind of funny how that happens a lot of the time with Chinese community. Happened a few times with Bloodborne as well, right? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name, but it's Lanqia, I think, or Qiu. Qiu? Yeah, I think it's Lanqiu. Something like that. Man. Arrgh. Bruh. Similar thing like happened with Pumpkin. Pumpkin came out of absolutely nowhere. And it just has kept, like, I guess it calmed a little bit down, but even then, like, the guy called Major 7 appeared recently. He's like a Mortal Journey runner. He got like 3rd or 4th place now. But it's like they always appear out of fucking nowhere with a time that's like that doesn't indicate beginner anymore. More of an Eastern opinion, but some people only want to submit when they've got 1st place. Yeah. Yeah, some of them are like chasing that perfection. But also some of them just don't care about speedrun.com. Because in their, like in the Chinese, like online, I don't know what to call it, like the online sphere and how the web is used, speedrun.com is not a popular site at all. And so if someone in China, I talked to some Chinese guys about this, if someone in China is curious about a potential world record, they wouldn't go to speedrun.com to look for the game. They would either like search on Google or they would look on Bilibili or some other video site like that. A lot of people in even the English-speaking community also do that thing with YouTube, right? Just searching on YouTube for the world record. And anyone who searches on any video platform won't find speedrun.com, right? Because generally speaking, runners do not link to the leaderboards, although I always do. Hey Gato Gaming, you're new to the speedrun and the channel. Ogre skip looks really hard. Best of luck. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's not at all the hardest part of the run though, but it's kind of like a thing I can stall you a bit here at the start. I'm trying to get back into being consistent at it. I used to have a nice consistency on it, but these days I haven't been grinding so much. So it should improve with some more play. Game this old, many people might have simply done private challenge runs in the past. I've watched them for runs for years. Oh, so that's why there are new players who are better than me. Even though that I've like been playing since release and know everything there is to know about every strat ever and have all the best resources and can talk to all the best players whenever I want. Oh yeah, these guys who have done challenge runs. Oh man. Realistically, I think it's just that they have a large talent pool, right? Like a large genetic pool where a lot of them will be like the rest of us, and then there'll be a few like genetic freaks in between, and those are the guys who end up getting world record. That's my opinion. It could be entirely wrong, but that's how I see it. A little bit of experience helps. Not really at this level. Like, you can look at like you can look at Wormdog, for instance. Bro doesn't like play the game casually. So it's like he started the run with, or started running with not having that much like background on the game, and still he's managed to absolutely crush it. He's like one of the best to ever play the game, and he didn't have prior experience other than just beating the game. There are many like kind of like things that you would know from casual stuff that he doesn't know about, but you know, he has had all the information and such through his like time of playing. So like, you don't really need that prior experience. It honestly doesn't matter. It matters. It matters mostly for beginners, but once you get to a world record level, essentially every single like beginner tactic is useless. Like every single boss is fought in a different way than you would do normally. Like, it's not like, oh, you gotta roll this attack and then attack him. No, it's more like, oh, you're used to deflecting or dodging this. No, now you're gonna do a strafe where you're unlocked and you need to be in the right pixel of the ground to be able to do the strafe correctly. So that means that prior to that, you need to line up your position so that if one of these three RNGs happen, then you're on the right spot in the ground. Well, it's not pixel perfect, but it's like you gotta learn everything from scratch at a top level. Snake Eyes, yeah, Snake Eyes, Gyobu, Ogre, some of the Ishin strats, an actual strat. Pretty much every single strat on Glitchless requires you to be thinking of your position ahead in such a way that you need to learn the strat, you need to analyze every single move for, okay, what way is the player character facing, what attack animation is he on, and what spot is he in when he starts that attack. So those three at least you need to, and then when he does the next attack you need to check all of those three again. And for the strat to work you need to line up those three on every single attack in a row for the entire fight to do it correctly. And you have to remember that usually you only get a sample size of maybe 2 out of the many RNG combinations, because of how, you know, RNG works with the fact that, like, it's generally biased towards getting good RNG in world records, right? Because they are the faster runs. Ogre skip isn't the hardest part. What is, in my opinion? For this run, the hardest part, in my opinion, is the 2 launches that I need to do, which are later in the run, which is kind of what makes them like harder, because Ogre skip I can just retry. Firstly, like if I miss it on my first try, I can go for a second try or a third try or fourth try. And if it doesn't work out, then I only need to, I can start the run over and run back there pretty quick. But with the monkey launch and the ape launch, those are like 12 minutes in and like 16 minutes into the run. And they only give you 1 attempt at them. So if I mess them up, I need to grind for a new good early game to have a chance. Other than the Airswim, Shura? Depends on what time you're going for. The world record on this is not as optimized as the 80% record. But the route, I'd say, is harder to learn. Or harder to... I don't know about harder to learn, but it's harder to complete a run with this than it is with the standard one. I think, in my opinion. I guess it's kind of, yeah. They're both hard to learn, the routes, because you gotta learn everything before you can even have a chance to complete it. Getting destroyed by height difference because the enemy is standing elsewhere is a classic. Yeah, it is. On Ogre, it's really funny because it's like essentially so precise that it's RNG. Like the positioning. Whether or not his slam is gonna miss you or let you deflect it. On the new strat. It's like I tried for so long, and Yuruka can agree with this because he was in the same situation. He tried for so long that he managed to come up with a new strat to fix it before he figured out how to copy the movement of the previous world record holder on that strategy. That's how complicated the movement was on that strat. And that strat is like, you can't go without it if you wanted the world record on glitchless now. Because it saves like a second. And this is the insane thing about the people who come out of nowhere. Because many of these strats seem like, to me, they seem impossible to learn without help. Especially if you can't read English and don't access the English guides. When I was learning, I lived off of like Discord chat logs. Okay. Yeah. Replicate what they see until they get it. Yeah, exactly. But that's like, it's kind of like, to me, that kind of seems like that situation where Like, I don't know if you've ever done this thought experiment, but it's like, if all of humanity reset except for the knowledge, how fast could you get to where we are now? So kind of like you would start out with the schematics for like an iPhone and all the raw materials, like you know where they are and you know how to extract them. Like, how long would it take you to create that iPhone? That's kind of like this scenario, because the components of getting like of being able to understand what to do the thing, even though you can see it, they might be kind of unattainable in a way, or they might be very, 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 very difficult to grasp. Sure, Chinese runners speak internally too. Yeah, I guess that must be it, because like humanity's greatest strength is like, you know, being able to communicate with each other and being like a social structure, essentially. The runner, like if you're a runner and you don't have to do with that, there is only one thing to say, and that's you're a genetic freak. That you have like some sort of like you're able to learn and understand patterns in a way that's extremely unusually good. Like, if you don't need explanation on some of these strats, then yeah. Because it's crazy, right? Where, like, if you're trying to do something, and you could have been trying something for maybe like a couple hours, and then someone drops in and says, oh, you gotta do this. And then, like, after like a couple minutes of trying, it just clicks. That's like how effective the knowledge is. And if you think about what sort of like amount of time you need to put into the game to reach the top level, you want every single time save in terms of learning that you can. And if you're stuck like brute forcing every strat for hours and hours and hours and hours, you're never gonna be able to catch up, right, with the people who are sharing all their info. Again, unless you're some sort of like insane, like coked out of your mind, like robot brained Giga Chad. Yo, Wormdog, thank you for the raid. Are we winning? Not really. I'm yapping. You know how it is when the yapping starts, then you can't play. Don't think you do this launcher from just seeing. You might be able to do them, but like to be able to get them consistently, you might need some help. The consistency is what matters for like a world record, right? Because for this run, I feel like it would be impossible to get it while just YOLOing the launches. I know because I tried. I tried from about like end of October till like December. I was trying with essentially YOLOing them. And I didn't get anywhere. Even though I brute forced it and I was pretty consistent on all the other parts of the run. Wait, did you do the same thing again? Dog? Were you a tile forward again? That's unfortunate. Well, I guess you gotta hit yourself in the face with a frying pan and then go practice it for 5 hours to override your muscle memory. Going dog is gonna bob you in under a week, yeah. That's just what the dog does. It's crazy. Why are you consistently going? It's, dude, you were talking about this fucking cum tile. I think you might be, you might have some sort of obsession with it. I don't know. Like, that's just what you said though, bro. I don't know. And you can't even say, oh, I didn't say that, because you literally did. Hello, fall. What is he doing? Why is he not falling? My guy, what the hell is that? Dude, it's literally YOLO RNG and he doesn't fall. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I go really wide for YOLO. I think I'm trying to copy the path that Evil Ash was taking. But it may be that that RNG that I got there was not actually the real YOLO. I haven't really figured that out, to be honest. And I thought my pathing was fine. Hey, can you grab that? Probably not from here. Oh, lol. That was 100% YOLO? Yeah, maybe I'm going too wide. Like, I followed this. Or like, I guess I try to go at this tree and then I turn. Like, kind of following the white, you know, the white seam. Show you your pathing. Depends how fast you go up the tower, I see. Patched, yeah. Maybe it's been patched. As in, it's been having the same issue with YOLO. I don't know. Yeah, I guess he's been having an issue as well. Yo, these guys are some ninjas. Holy fuck. Dude, if you know these guys' movesets, you're kind of a gamer. Yeah. I only ever really fought these guys with the axe, where you just like smack them, and then you get the free death blow. But it's interesting that... Oh, I don't know if it's interesting. It's annoying, the YOLO thing, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of hard to tell what's going wrong. But I definitely don't like have any idea really what's going on there. Like, I used to think I had an idea, but then one day I asked Mitch, and then he told me that it was the opposite of what I thought it was. And since then I've been confused about it. So at this point I'm questioning if anyone even understands what is going on. Or if I'm just clueless. How can I be sure Mitch is right? Yeah, exactly. I have no clue. What did he say? He said, no early, yes late. He said. That is word for word what he said. What does that even mean? Oh, it's if you hear the tower break early, then it won't work. But if you hear it late, and only late, then it will work. Or then you got the right RNG. I mean, obviously doesn't mean that it will work, but you know, that it could work. Almost the greatest no airswim runner of all time. Yeah, if there's one thing he said, then that's definitely not it. He may have said that I'm the... Yeah, let me try and come up with something funny to say. Are you talking early break, like before you even climb the tower? I don't know. He said, no early, yes late, okay? That's what I'm working with here, okay? Yeah. I'm just, like, you want the tower to break late, okay? That's what I know. Okay, yeah, this setup works well. Breaks the fire tower while you jump across the tower, then is YOLO. While? Okay. I thought that was too early for him to do it. I thought it would only be like after you're on the thing already. Okay. Look at his pathing while climbing the tower. Bro, do I look like someone who has a mouse? I guess that's what I should be doing, but I'm kind of lazy. After... Oh, okay, I see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is how I understood it in the first place. Because I used to think that it would work if he broke it like while you were kind of on the tower, kind of. Or like at least like... I used to think that it was earlier than it actually was, essentially. I don't know when I thought it was, or like what the timing was, but... Essentially I had it down wrong. Okay, so this one could work. Yeah, well, this one should work if the pathing is right. But he's not gonna fall. But maybe that was because I didn't climb the ledge fast enough. But I don't even know if... Like, I guess that is a thing that could potentially affect it. Circles around between you and the tower. You want him to break it on the... Huh? Want to break it on the second rotation. Basically charges directly to your coordinates. Every time you circle to the 50-50 if he charges you. Ledge climb thing? Which is why YOLO is that. 1/4. Yeah, I mean, that does make sense to me. Like, because it's the fucking thing you know, the horsing that he does where he's just running in a circle. Kind of like a classic. I don't know if you should you would call it an AI break or something, but it's kind of like an AI meme, right? Where he just runs in a fucking circle. Chinatown look, you'll see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I get it, I guess. Although I don't really. Because, like, where is he charging to? Like, he should be charging against the wall. But he's not. He charges to his death. Which in my head doesn't make sense for the time and place that he would choose to follow you at. To me, it just seems like he would, like, get stuck on the gate. Which I know is, you know, something that often happens. Just like, you know, when you try for horse skip even, not ape skip. Got a side jump it would. That's weird. Cause I kind of had like side jump kind of break it for me. Like, you know, at the diagonal kind of jump up thing. It's great that we don't even have a name for that. The fast let's grab exit. I kind of have this thing that, like, when there's something that doesn't make sense, I kind of get, like, a little bit discouraged about it. So, this YOLO stuff is kind of like... I'm kind of like, you know, storing it away until someone can explain this fucking shit. So that I understand it. God damn it. I bet at this point if I got to the ape launch I wouldn't remember how to do it. The tower break, you know he's through, you know he's there and you want to position yourself. At an angle where He runs off, which means going more left. That is so fucking funny, man. That is so funny. Like, I'm like here. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna land there. Ooh. Restart this shit ass game. You know he's there, and you want to position yourself at an angle where he runs off, which means going more left. I don't know why going as far left as I did failed. Yeah, I don't know either. I guess maybe I'm going too left too early, and so his pathfinding doesn't pick the right side of the wall or some shit like that. I don't even get how his pathfinding can even aim up there. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, unless they fucking nav meshed all of the, like, invisible fucking, you know, the nothingness. He doesn't pathfind, he charges your coordinates directly. Huh. Could be because it's too slow. Yeah, well, on the prior one, I don't think I was too slow, so. But on that latest one that I did, where I was slow on the get up, yeah, I was slow on that one. But the other one I wasn't. I don't think. Maybe I was slow somewhere else, but kind of seems like kind of nitpicking to say that, because like, oh yeah, you were like 1% too slow because you had your camera like 2 pixels more to the left than to the right. Like, shit like that shouldn't matter. I don't know, but maybe it does. Maybe you need like, maybe someday we'll have that like very specific setup where it just works. Not trying to start beef. Oh man, no beef. Nice. 100% consistent setup for a boss in these games. Well, I guess you know it would only apply 25% of the time, so. %100% consistent 25% of the time, most of the time. That adds up to around 1% consistency, if you ask me. But I should be playing the lottery instead of playing this shit. Higher chance of that being productive. Probably not. Let's be honest, but it's funny to say it regardless. The wait for cutscene value stuff work. The wait for cutscene. I don't remember. Is that okay? Yeah, I guess cutscene load. I guess it worked pretty well. I'm just trying to remember because there were like memes, obviously. So firstly, there is a meme where like your load in speed. Sometimes you load in on 0. Like this wouldn't be for the tutorial because I don't remember what the exact time is for the tutorial. But when you're loading into the game, generally, like you can either load in on like 0.49 or 0.51 seconds after the game starts tracking your time, right? So and when your character gains, when you gain control of being able to move your character is also a different thing. I'm just thinking now, like I think it was good enough. Yeah, I think it was good enough waiting for a cutscene. I don't remember there being any issues with it, like with the final version. No sub 3 ogre skip. Yeah, I get a little depressed when I look at that because the worm gets like... He gets like 246 every single time. I can't even remember if you can get 246 on this category because you have to pick up the shuriken. I guess you can, maybe.
I don't remember.
I don't like complaining, but... This stuff is kind of brutal to run. Because think about it, none of these runs... Oh well, I had 2 runs that got to the hard part, but those were only because I chose to continue them after they were already dead. But imagine, none of these runs have really gotten to the hard part of the run. Thankfully, the run is pretty short, so there is a decent chance that if I do make it past like at least the halfway mark, like if I make it past monkeys, I can probably have a decent chance of getting lucky for the final bit. even in practice, I wasn't really able to be consistent on like the final part of the run, which was actually crazy. Like I did segmented practice of from the monkeys launch until the end of the game, which might sound like kind of a long segment, but honestly it's not, because there's only like 3 hard things in that. And one of them is a jump that only matters for like 2 seconds. And then the other 2 are, you know, the launches. The fucking jump into the Ginichur arena when you buff up. That jump is so damn weird. The rest is like just like spamming attack on the boss until it dies. And yet on that I wasn't even able to complete attempts with that. I practiced for like quite a good amount. Grinding for world record is taxing. Yeah, it is. It is. Need to overcome the I don't even know. The mental aspect of it though. By punishing oneself even harder. Yeah, yeah. One more attempt. Hell yeah. Surely the next time my brain won't be bad. Wow, that only barely worked. I didn't even really realize that it had worked until I ledge grabbed. It's kind of a weird looking one as well. How am I so red already? What the shit is these splits, man? What the hell? Why is my early game on the split so good? This was a different me. I was super dialed in on the early game at least. Okay, no YOLO. Okay. I'm kind of tired, so I'm probably not gonna play for too much longer. I have an actual, like, schedule nowadays. It's crazy. Actually have normal waking hours. Okay. That's it. I'm gonna go sleep, I guess. Don't shoot me, bro. Alright. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see if there's anyone on to raid. Oh, Panette is on. Let's raid Panette. Oh, Spacey is on as well. I'll just raid Panette. The classic. Can't go wrong with that. He's doing... Oh yeah, he's doing another like round of... He has made some new goals for himself of times, and then he says that he's finally gonna retire after that. Which means that he's gonna be back after a few months. As we all know. YOLO pathing whenever... Oh, I see. Okay, I'll save this video. Thank you for the help. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I am gonna go sleep. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow or the day after that or something. Not sure. Bye bye.